President Trump says the pardons that former President Biden granted to members of the January 6th committee are invalid. Trump posting overnight that the pardons are, quote, void and vacant because they were allegedly signed with an Autopen. He claims Biden did not approve the pardons for former Congresswoman Liz Cheney and others and didn't even know about them. Trump says the committee members will now be subject to an investigation at the highest level.
President Biden's pardons are void?
Reloading. Reloading. Reloading.
I trust everybody is doing well out there today. And boy, oh boy, welcome to the most unexpected drama of 2025, the great Autopen controversy. That's right, President Trump has declared President Biden's Autopen signed pardons void. Apparently, the pen isn't mightier than the sword, or the Twitter X feed. But what does the Bible have to say about all this? And more importantly, can we laugh about it? Let's dive in.
President Trump doubling down over the weekend on his claim that his predecessor, Joe Biden, used an Autopen to add his signature to crucial documents. Mills Hayes is here with us this morning. So, Mills, describe this to us. What exactly is an Autopen? And is there any evidence that President Biden was heavily relying on one, like President Trump claims?
Well, good morning, Marky. Happy to be back here. An Autopen is a device that replicates someone's signature. It's something that celebrities often use to sign autographs for fans, and it provides an identical signature every single time, like almost a stamp. It's
An identical signature almost every single time. And we're going to get a look at what this Autopen looks like. Let's continue.
common knowledge that presidents use the device too. Harry Truman, believed to be the first U.S. president to do so almost 100 years ago. But the White House doesn't exactly broadcast that they're doing it for obvious reasons. The issue here, according to President Trump, is how much his predecessor was allegedly relying on it. And overnight, the president upping the ante, posting that the pardons signed by President Biden are, quote, hereby declared void, vacant, and of no further force or effect, because of the fact that they were done by Autopen. In other words, Joe Biden did not sign them. He continues those on the unselect committee, referring to the House committee that investigated January 6th, should, quote, fully understand that they are subject to investigation at the highest level. The fact.
Do you think Joe Biden signed those? Do you think he was cognizant when he signed those? Do you even think he knew what he was signing? Let's continue.
Is that they were probably responsible for the documents that were signed on their behalf without their knowledge or consent. This claim originated from the Heritage Foundation's oversight project. They highlighted signatures from pardons that the president signed, including those for Anthony Fauci, Mark Milley, and the January 6th committee. They allege that the signatures are identical, suggesting the use of an Autopen. They contrasted those signatures with the one announcing Biden's withdrawal from the 2024 presidential race, which they say is noticeably different.
Look at how that's compelling evidence that they're all from the same signature. They all line up perfectly. Let's continue.
The president suggested on Truth Social, quote, the person who was the real president during the Biden years was the person who controlled the Autopen. Here's what President Trump first said about the claim on Friday.
Crooked Joe Biden got us into a real mess with Russia and everything else he did, frankly, but he didn't know about it. And he, generally speaking, signed it with Autopen. So how would he know? That Autopen is a big deal. 99% of the time I say do it, but they come up and I sign it. But you don't use Autopen. It's, number one, it's disrespectful to the office.
Marky, so far, no response from President Biden or anyone who worked in the Biden White House. But again, this is something that presidents do use and have used for decades. President George W. Bush's Justice Department actually made a legal argument that an Autopen signature is just as valid as the president's handwritten signature when it comes to signing bills. Marky?
Fascinating.
This story from the New York Post and other news sources report that Donald Trump has declared former resident Joe Biden's Autopen pardons as void. Trump argues that the use of an Autopen, a machine that replicates a human signature, undermines the gravity and personal responsibility inherent in the presidential pardon power. This declaration has sparked a legal and political debate over the validity of such pardon and the broader implications of executive authority. From a biblical worldview, this situation raises important questions about justice, authority, and the moral responsibilities of leaders. The Bible emphasizes the importance of justice and righteousness in leadership. as seen in Proverbs 29:2, which states, "When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked rule, the people groan." The use of an Autopen could be seen as a dereliction of the personal duty that comes with the power to pardon, a power that should be exercised with wisdom and discernment. So here's the deal. President Biden has been using an Autopen, a fancy robot arm, to sign pardon. Trump says, nope, that doesn't count. And honestly, I get it. I mean, if I tried to sign my kid's permission slip with a Ramba, the teacher would probably call child services. But seriously, the presidential pardon is a big deal. It's a power rooted in mercy and justice, two things the Bible talks about a lot. Proverbs 21:15 says, "When justice is done, it brings joy to the righteous, but terror to evildoers." So, should we be really outsourcing mercy to a machine? The Bible is clear about authority. Romans 13:1 tells us, "Let everyone be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except that which God has established." Authorities that exist have been established by God. But it also calls leaders to act with integrity and personal responsibility. I mean, can you imagine King David outsourcing his Psalms to a scribe bot? Sorry, Goliath, my Autopen's jammed. Look, I'm not saying Biden's Autopen is the mark of the beast, but it's definitely not the mark of leadership. If we're going to pardon someone, at least pick up a pen and own it. Otherwise, what's next? AI State of the Union addresses. Good evening, America. I am ChatGPT-7, and I approve this message. But seriously, or sometimes comically, we have to be fair. Trump's not exactly a stranger to controversy when it comes to signing things. Remember the Sharpie Gate hurricane map? But hey, at least he held the pen himself, right? Ecclesiastes 10:2 says, "The heart of the wise inclines to the right, but the heart of the fool to the left." Maybe the real issue here isn't left or right, it's whether we're leaning on technology to do the hard work of leadership. And President Trump is being a great leader. At the end of the day, this isn't about Autopens or Sharpies. It's about the kind of leaders we want and the kind of people we're called to be. Leaders who act justly, love mercy, and walk humbly. And maybe, just maybe, pick up a pen every now and then. All right, maybe not a quill, but you get the point. Let's hold our leaders accountable and maybe give them a penmanship class while we're at it. Thanks for watching, folks. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And remember, whether you're signing a pardon or a permission slip, do it with integrity and maybe a little less robot. God bless you, and I'll see you the next time. And remember, you've been warned.